Welcome, everyone, to the Pearl and the Echo podcast. My name is Dori Sim, and I'm with my lovely co-host, Jim Rajan. As always, we are excited to bring you another episode of this thing that we do every week. But first, we are going to take 3 deep breaths. So close your eyes if you are in a safe environment to do so. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. And once again, in through the nose. Feel your body expand. Breathe all the way into your toes and let it go. And one last time, take the biggest breath you've taken today. And let it all go. All right. Tell us, Jim, which quote do you have for us?
Okay, so I have a quote by a neuroscientist and humanist author called Abhijit Naskar, and it goes like this. In English, we say, the best things in life are free. In Naskarian, we say, abundance without awareness causes sickness. So in English, we say, the best things in life are free. In Naskarian, we say, abundance without awareness causes sickness. So, there's this thing in Western society of we're entitled to everything and we got planet Earth and it's free and we got nature, but then we just go and destroy everything all the time. Human beings just have this kind of natural ability to just destroy everything around them in such a kind of shameful way. And I'm not being negative about humans, but you don't see any other animals not giving a damn. Chucking loads of chemicals into a river. We in the Western world, we just like, well, it's ours. This is our planet Earth is mine. I get to do what I want. Forget everyone else as long as I'm happy and making some money. And as long as I'm good, I don't really care about anyone else. But abundance without awareness causes sickness. And of course it does. And so we've got this amazing planet and we're not really conscious because we're not allowing ourselves to be. We're destroying it. It's as simple as that. So it's kind of like we've got to be careful what we wish for, because when you get it, if you're not conscious, you kind of end up destroying things. It's the classic of the person who maybe is not particularly well educated, not that education even helps anyway, or not particularly aware, let's say, who wins the lottery. Let's say maybe you're not a particularly well-off person, you have a kind of simple job, and all of a sudden you got $10 million in your bank account. And of course, you haven't done the preparation for that. Well, if I came into some money, I think I'd probably invest this amount. Maybe I'd buy a house or 2 and live off the rent. Maybe you would just get that money. Your eyes would go enormous, like in the cartoons, and you just go and blow it on a Ferrari and a huge house that you don't even need, with a swimming pool that you have to pay someone to clean all the time, and all these things because you're not conscious of what's actually going on around you. And it doesn't necessarily even work for big things like winning the lottery. It's just like you go out in nature and we don't even appreciate it. And the birds are singing in the morning, and how that's the most beautiful thing, but we don't even hear it because we're not aware, because we're not even present. Yeah, the best things in life are free, but if you're not here, then you're not even aware that they're there. And if you're not here and you don't see that those things are even there, all you see is the things that you have to grift and graft for, then everything is just about money or winning or losing or negotiating, or I do something to get something. Like relationships, it's supposed to be about unconditional love, but it's not. It's about, well, I'll do this, but if you give me that, we've talked about this before.
Yes.
So I'm laying this one on the table because it's a deep, rich idea, and it's not just about Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy and aren't we awful in the West and aren't they amazing in the East? But it's about kind of consciousness in so many ways, isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh, so much to say. Where do I even begin? Fundamentally, the quote is getting at gratitude, and gratitude is really hard if you're not practicing it regularly every day. I'm studying Reiki, and one of our pieces of homework was to do gratitude every day. And maybe I did it for a few days and then I stopped doing it. And this quote is reminding me to get back to that. People talk about gratitude journals, and that it was a bit of a trend a while back, even in the West, to be grateful for everything, like the smallest things, to be grateful that the sun came out this morning, or to be grateful that you get to pet your dog first thing and take them out on a walk. But the challenge with gratitude is what our brains do is when we have a problem, we try to fix it. Our brains are constantly looking for problems. And then maybe this is why we're trashing the planet. I don't know. But we're constantly looking for problems. And so for me, maybe the problem like a year ago was, hey, I'm in a really challenging job. Okay, then get laid off. Oh no, now the problem is I'm laid off. And then, okay, you get a new job. And now my brain, of course, is looking for new problems in this job. Like, oh, what's the problem with this job, right? I can tell you right now, there is no problem. There's never been a problem in any of those scenarios. But our default brain mechanism is to look for the next big problem. And if you don't find it at work, okay, what's happening in my personal life? What problems can we unearth there? And so it's this automatic thing that as soon as we solve a problem, even if the next challenge or thing that comes our way is smaller and more manageable, our brain latches on and turns it into as big of a problem as that actual big problem was in your life 5 months ago. And I really don't like this, Jim. I don't know who designed this. Maybe it's like survival, we're on the savannah and we're trying to literally not die. That's probably where it comes from. But in the modern world, not helpful at all. And so how do you get out of that headspace? Gratitude. You ask yourself, is this really a problem, or am I making it a problem? Am I turning mountains out of molehills, as that saying goes? And usually the answer is yes. Is it going to matter 6 months from now? Usually the answer is no. We have to start with, what am I grateful for today, right? If we started with that question, then life would be very different, I think, for all of us, if we all just really doubled down on a daily gratitude practice. I'm grateful for the trees in my neighborhood that are filtering the air so that I can breathe. Wow, right?
Yeah.
We're disconnected. I think the scrolling, these dopamine hits, we're overloading our system in this way so that then, of course, the minor thing of someone cutting you off in traffic is going to feel like now my day is ruined. I was telling you before we started recording, like my partner got a ticket this morning and I was already in a bad mood. And I was like, well, this is just some BS. And I was getting so angry and annoyed because now we're waiting for the paperwork and you don't have time for this. And my partner was like, it's fine. Didn't bat an eyelash.
Yeah, exactly. So, like the same situation, two people have in exactly the same situation.
And he's the one that did the thing, right?
And he's like, yeah, whatever, yeah, it's fine. But he's here and he's in it and he's like, yeah, okay, so, right, well, I'll give some money to the government and I'll receive something in return. So it's fine because he's in a state of presence and awareness and he's not being continuously disconnected from things and taken away and then complaining about how he's been taken away or about all these things that are getting in his way.
I call him the Zen master. I can't wait for him to hear this episode. This is going to be great.
I'm just going to take us to 1980s and the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Mainly because I saw it the other day with my daughter for the first time. And it's about one of them has a really rich dad and he's got a Ferrari in his house, like a really old, super expensive Ferrari. And these kids, they take the Ferrari and just trash it, basically, don't they? And I can't remember exactly how it goes, but they take it to the city and drive it really badly, and then they drive it back home and it falls out of a window or something and gets completely trashed. And it's like that when I don't know how the script of the film goes to that depth, but someone earns the money and buys this beautiful thing and honors this beautiful thing and never uses it because it's so beautiful and is just probably really happy with the fact that he's got this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And someone who doesn't care comes along and sees that beautiful thing and thinks that it's okay to just completely trash it. You can apply this to so many things in life. I live in Spain. Spanish tax law is an abomination. You have no idea. And I get a huge tax bill the other day that's really completely unfair. And I've got some choices. I can go, well, that's really unfair. And Spanish tax law is awful. And how dare they? And evil this and evil that. And the government this and unfair that. Or I can go, well, I'll give this thing in this direction, and I'm sure I'll get the equal in some other direction. So yeah, no
Yeah.
worries. And sometimes it's really hard to do that when you're not conscious
Yeah.
and you're just in your head and it's all about winning and competing. Well, if I get a big tax bill, then I've lost.
Hmm.
Ah, damn it. Right. I'm the loser. Then other stuff happens, which adds to me being the loser. And I get a parking ticket and then someone puts a nail around my car
Yeah.
and then it all gets reinforced in how much of a loser I am and how humiliating life is to me. And then, of course, I'm going to go trash stuff. I mean, look at all of the young men in the modern world. Humiliate a young man once when he's a boy. And of course, he's going to be violent and going to want to go and trash stuff.
Yeah.
That's the basic of life. Or help him be really kind of conscious and aware. And that's what life is like. And bad stuff happens and good stuff happens. And then that person lives in a different way.
Yeah, it's all about awareness and being present. And there's a series of books, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. I would say it's all small stuff, right? Like none of it is really worth your energy, or it's not worth getting worked up over. But we've very much closed ourselves from nature and from community. And I feel like a lot of that is kind of deliberate, to be honest, by the powers that be. We're all kind of in these comfort bubbles when we have to actually step out of them, which is all the time. If you really want to live life, it's uncomfortable. It's painful because you're learning, you're growing, and it hurts. It's overwhelming. And if we don't cultivate that skill where you're just pushing a little bit outside of your comfort zone, then it's going to be impossible. And I feel like younger generations struggle with that even more. But at the same time, it's innate in us. It's what we crave. We're setting ourselves up to fail in a way because we're expecting everything to be perfect all of the time, because that's a lot of the content we consume. But perfect is super boring. That's why people with a lot of money and things like aren't happy, because they've perfected everything in their lives with the income that they have. And so it's like, oh, well, then why aren't I happy? It's like, well, are you connecting to other people? Are you holding space for the people around you with all of their flaws without trying to fix all those things and without judging all of those pieces of them? That's hard. It's really hard to live in that kind of conscious, accepting way, because that's not what we've been taught. We've been taught, like, don't be vulnerable to anyone because they'll attack you, and be careful of these people over here. They're bad. And so it's just like division and self-protection. And so if we're in this kind of mindset, how can you be thinking about abundance? How can you have any awareness if you're constantly trying to protect yourself from stuff or hide parts of you away because you're afraid of what people might think?
I mean, even the words you're using, mindset and abundance, when you're using your mind in relation to abundance, it becomes a winning or losing thing, or I've got more, or you've got less. It's still part of a negotiation or a disequilibrium of resources.
Exactly.
Well, I'm more abundant and you're not, and therefore I'm the winner. But Mother Nature is just this incredible thing that we all get to listen to the birds in the morning if we want to. And of course, we're human beings and we live in society, and this is how society has been built, and it doesn't work very well, but you can't really change it. Yeah, we can bring in certain ideas, but kind of geopolitically, every country has hollowed out the middle class, so there isn't one. And then we're all complaining about tech giants and how they run our lives. And we can all go down these kind of rabbit holes with these things.
Yeah.
Or you can say, well, I'm going to do my best within the mess of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I get to enjoy being alive. I get to enjoy aliveness. Like you say, there's all these people who have lots of money or even success, and they're just so unhappy because they're not allowing themselves to really experience simple human connection or the simple things in life.
Yeah. Yeah. And the win and lose thing really bugs me because it's not about the outcome. It's really about the journey. It's always been about the journey. And it can feel like the outcomes really matter, but at the end of your life, they're not going to matter as much as maybe it feels like they matter right now. And this kind of like deserving of things, right? Like you deserve love. Why? Because then it just feels like I have to earn it. Why can't love be this abundant thing that we all have access to, and that we all do for each other as human beings because we're capable? Yeah. I would love it if you gave that quote to us one more time, Jim?
Okay, wonderful. So, Abhijit Naskar wrote, in English, we say the best things in life are free. In Naskarian, we say abundance without awareness causes sickness. Wonderful. So thank you so much, everyone. We really hope you enjoyed that. Please feel free to subscribe and send us comments, and we hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Yes, and if you're grateful about something, tell us what it is, or send it to someone who's really good at gratitude or really bad at it. Doesn't matter. It's not
Exactly.
win or lose, right? That's what we keep saying. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Pearl and the Echo podcast with me, Dori Sim, and my co-host, Jim Rajan. Thank you to Rebel Mixtape Productions for editing this episode. If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, and share with those in your life that matter most.